Can you guess the number one problem that comes up in real estate transactions? If you guessed appraisal issues, you're right, with low appraisals being the most common of them all. So what happens when an appraisal comes in low, and what does it mean for a buyer in a real estate transaction? Well, first off, as I said, these are common. On average, they impact about 8% of transactions, and they tend to be more common in a highly competitive market. So while low appraisals can often cause delays with closing, only about 1 in 10 low appraisals actually lead to a canceled deal. Over 50% of the time, the terms of the mortgage or the purchase price can be negotiated, and the deal is saved. But in a hot and competitive market, that won't always happen. So what should you do when a low appraisal occurs in a hot market? The most straightforward way to deal with a low appraisal is to bring the difference in for the down payment to closing. This is what the lender expects because the lender will always base their loan amount on the lower number between the purchase price or the appraised value. So let's use this as an example. A home that is under contract for $570,000 comes in with a low appraisal of $537,000. They were planning on putting 20% down. So now we need to plug in the original purchase price and multiply it by 80% because they wanted 20% down. Now we do the same with a lower appraised value, and then we take the difference between each of them. 80% of $570,000 minus 80% of $537,000 is $26,400, and that is the additional down payment required above and beyond what was initially planned on. You may be thinking, what are some of the alternatives to a larger down payment? Well, the first is lowering the purchase price. It's an obvious one, but it may not be reasonable in a market as hot as ours. If you choose to go this route, you'll need to have the seller agree to reduce the purchase price to match that appraised value. The other option is to increase your loan to value. In our example, if the buyer asked for a 90% loan to value instead of the 80%, they would actually get to put down almost $28,000 less than they had originally planned. The last option, and I do mean the last option, is to appeal the appraisal. It is rare to win this scenario, but it is possible if the appraiser missed more relevant comparable home sales that are recent. So there you have it. Now you know what to do with a low appraisal. As always, navigating these situations comes down to the individual mortgage broker that you choose. By choosing wisely, you'll ensure the highest probability of not only a transaction closing, but closing on time and with the best terms.